Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayana Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devam Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudhire
Tato Jayam Mudiraye.
Nashtaprayasha Badreshu
Nashtaprayasho Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Nishtaki.
Saivam Ramamanasya
Ramamanasya.
Saivam Ramamanasya
Daivam Ramamanasya.
Kamakashmala Chetasaha
Kamakashmala Chetasaha.
Kamakashmala Chetasaha
Kamakashmala Chetasaha.
Shanarnam Iva Rajendra
Janardhanam Rajendra.
Shanarnam Iva Rajendra
Janardhanam Rajendra.
Ikrantam Navam Vayaha
Yatikrantam Navamaya.
Ayevam Ramamanasya
Daivam Ramamanasya.
Kamakashmala Chetasaha
Kamakashmala Chetasaha.
Shanardham Iva Rajendra
Janardhanam Rajendra.
Yatikrantam Navam Vayaha
Yatikrantam Navamaya.
Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Shanardham Iva Rajendra Yatikrantam Navam Vayaha
Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Shanadam Iva Rajendra Yatikrantam Navavaya Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Janadham Iva Rajendra Yatikrantam Navam Vaya Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Shanadam Iva Rajendra Yatikrantam Navam Vaya Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Shanadam Iva Rajendra Yatikrantam Navam Vaya वैदेवमनमानस्य कामकश्मलचेतसः क्षणादमिव राजेन्द्र व्यतिक्रान्तं नवं वयः कैदेवं रममाणस्य कामकश्मलचेतसः क्षणादमिव राजेन्द्र व्यतिक्रान्तं नवं वयः.
Taya, with her, evam, in this way, ramamanasya, enjoying, kama, full of lust, kashmala, sinful, chetasaha, is heart, shana, ardham, in half a moment, eva, like, Raja Indra, O king, Vyati Krantam, expired, Navam, new, Vayam, Vayaha, life. By taking Prachina Barisha in this way, King Puranjana, his heart full of lust and sinful reaction, began to enjoy sex with his wife, and in this way his new life and youth expired in half a moment. My dear King Prachina Barishat,
My dear King
Dear
Prachina
King
Bharati,
in this
Prachina
way,
in
in
this
this
way,
way,
King
with
Puranjana,
Puranjana,
full of lust
with
with
his heart
his
full of
heart
lust
full of
and
lust
sinful reactions,
and
and
sinful
sinful
reactions,
began
reactions,
to enjoy sex life
began
began
to
to enjoy sex
enjoy,
with
with his wife.
his wife.
And in this way,
and
And
in
in this
this
way,
way,
and youth
the
expired
youth
in half
expired
a
after a moment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Govinda Dhasa Thakura sang, Ye dhana yauvana putra parijana, ite ke ache pariti tire. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala, baja hari pada. In this verse, Srila Govinda Dasa actually says that there is no bliss in the enjoyment of youthful life. In youth, a person becomes very lusty to enjoy all kinds of sense objects. The sense objects are form, taste, smell, touch, and sound. The modern scientific method or advancement of scientific civilization encourages the enjoyment of these five senses. The younger generation is very pleased to see a beautiful form, to hear radio messages or breast of a young woman and gradually touch the sex organs. All of this is also very pleasing to the animals. Therefore, in society, there are restrictions in the enjoyment of the five sense objects. If one does not follow, he becomes exactly like an animal. Thus, in this verse, it is specifically stated, Kama Kashmala Chetasaha. Consciousness of King Puranjana was polluted by lusty desires and sinful activities. In the previous verse, it is stated that Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, lay down on a very soft bed with his wife. This indicates that he indulged too much in sex. The word Navam Vayaha are also significant in this verse. They indicate the period of youth from age 16 to 30. These 13 or 15 years of life or years in which one can very strongly enjoy the senses. When one comes to this age, he thinks that life will go on and that will simply continue enjoying his senses. But time and tide wait for no man. The span of youth expires very quickly. One who wastes his life simply by committing sinful activities in youth immediately becomes disappointed and delusioned when the brief period of youth is over. The material enjoyments of youth are especially pleasing to a person who has no spiritual training. If one is trained only according to the bodily conception of life, he simply leads a disappointed life because bodily sense enjoyment finishes within 40 years or so. After 40 years, one simply leads a delusioned life because he has no spiritual knowledge. For such a person, the expiration of youth occurs in half a moment. Thus, King Puranjana's pleasure, which he took in lying down along with his wife, Prabhuji, I'm not able to see the. which he took in lying down with his wife, expired very quickly. Kama Kashmala Chetasaha also indicates that unrestricted sense enjoyment is not allowed in the human form of life by the laws of nature. If one enjoys his senses unrestrictedly, he leads a sinful life. The animals do not violate the laws of nature. For example, the sex impulse in animals is very strong due to certain months of the year. The lion is very powerful. He is a flesh eater and is very strong, but he enjoys sex only once a year. Similarly, according to religious injunctions, a man is restricted to enjoying sex only once in a month after the menstrual period of the wife, and if the wife is pregnant, he is not allowed sex life at all. That is the law of human beings. A man is allowed to keep more than one wife because he cannot enjoy sex when the wife is pregnant. If he wants to enjoy sex at such a time, he may go to another wife who is not pregnant. These are laws mentioned in the Manu Samhita and other scriptures. These laws and scriptures are meant for human beings. As such, if one violates these laws, he becomes sinful. The conclusion is that unrestricted sense enjoyment means sinful activities. Illicit sex is sex that violates the laws given in the scriptures. When one violates the laws of scriptures or the Vedas, he commits sinful activities. One who is engaged in sinful activities cannot change his consciousness. Our real function is to change our consciousness from Kashmala, sinful consciousness, to Krishna, the Supreme Pure. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Parabrahman Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Krishna is the Supreme Pure. And if we change our consciousness from material enjoyment to Krishna, we become purified. This is a process recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a process of Cheto Darpana Mahachanam, cleansing the mirror of the heart. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shundabadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Tayyevam Ramamanasya Kamakashmala Chetasaha Kanardam Iva Rajendra Gatikrantam Navam Vayaha. My dear King Prajina Barsha, in this way King Puranjana, with heart full of lust and sinful reaction, began to enjoy sex with his wife, and in this way his new life and youth expired in half a moment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So Prabhupada gives very clear, Krishna has given us an opportunity to live independent of him, but not doing sinful activities. You can live independent of Krishna in the material world, but you should live in a dharmic way. Otherwise, punishment is there. See, we want to be independent of Krishna. Krishna says, okay, go. Go to the material world, you don't have to think about me, but don't do sinful activities. Because then you don't go up, you go down. Then there is punishment. Punishment in this life in various ways and in the hell in the various ways, and anyway we continue the life of material existence. So here it says, there are two meanings in this verse. One meaning it is symbolizing somebody. Symbolizing a person who has been hunting for a woman and other things, sense objects all his life, is come back home and is now sitting with his intelligence and awakening his Krishna consciousness. That's actually indirect meaning, but not discussed here. Prabhupada takes rather from the direct meaning from the verse, and he has a message to give to us. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, if anybody can chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, he'll go back to Godhead. He has given a letter to that effect. I am not flattering you. This is the result. But the point is, you cannot do this much also. And therefore, he had to make ISKCON society. Otherwise, his books would have been sufficient. People can take the books, follow 4 regulative principles, chant 16 rounds, read a book and go back to God. He didn't have to make the huge institution to do that. Correct? You understand? True, one of the main work Prabhupada gave the institution is distribute the books. So far he need book distributors, so he created he created an institution so they can create book distributors, so they can distribute his books. PPT prints books, but he needs people to distribute the books, therefore he creates. See, there are 2 organizations Prabhupada created. One he created BBT, one he created ISKCON. He spent his whole life in actually BBT, writing the books and then publication. But then he created an organization. So you can say that he created an organization so that he can get some book distributors. Yeah, that is one way to look at it. But also, there was once a conversation. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, in fact, this was the step which made me get confused about Ritvik philosophy. We were from Bangalore, so more or less we all had been convinced of the Ritvik philosophy. So I was in Mayapur and I was meeting some devotees. And very friendly the way I was saying, see, just have to read Prabhupada chant Hare Krishna, I will go back to God. He said, yes, but you have not read one conversation. And at that time, we are not so devoted that we just see once and we turn, no. But it did put a trigger on me, that conversation. It's a very important conversation. I don't know, it will not be easy for you to locate that. If somebody can do, that's wonderful. So Prabhupada asks the devotee, they say, the Prabhupada, just you have to do this 2 things, give people your books and make them to chant Hare Krishna, they'll go back to God. Prabhupada said, no, we should teach the books. So then one devotee understands what Prabhupada is saying. He says, Prabhupada, I understand. Just like in a college, the teacher doesn't write the books. Books are written by an expert. But the teacher is needed to explain the books in the class. So Prabhupada has also given service to us in ISKCON to explain his books to the public, not only to distribute books. So, you have to chant Hare Krishna, 4 regulative principles, follow, go back to God. Okay? And for this instruction, they are in Prabhupada books. We can give these books to people, correct? Print and so what is the need of ISKCON? Try to understand. First need, we need to distribute these books. Number 2, we need to explain these books to public. In fact, it's a little difficult to understand for many people. Actually, when you want to chant purely, anybody can chant Hare Krishna, but chant purely, you need association. You cannot chant purely alone. Therefore, Prabhupada says, somebody thinks he's staying away from the society that I created. He has created 2 things, books and a society. And he thinks he can stay away from the society and practice Krishna consciousness, is living in hallucination. So without association, you cannot chant purely. You can chant, but not purely. Similarly, you can read. You cannot read properly. You're really hearing your own mind. I've explained this 1,000,000 times. It's like when you see a snake, but actually it's a rope. Where is the snake in your mind? Correct? You're walking on the road, you see a rope. You take it to a snake. Where is the snake? Not on the road, it's in your mind. Similarly, when you are reading, actually we do not read. We are hearing our own mind. Sometimes it happens. We can give a simple example. You write some text. Admins, please take care. You're writing some text. And then what happens? I will misspell some of the words. You don't even see the misspelling. Our mind is already having the image of the correct word, it keeps correcting. Correct? There are so many optical illusions also based on the same thing.
Square is what? Square become.
There is no admins to take care. Okay. Okay? Leave. Now 2 admins are taken. People do not know actually, but generally once we can mute everybody, then it will be okay. Okay. So we really do not know, but we do not know that these 2 things are needed, association is needed. Many people feel, yeah, I have the books with Prabhupada with me, I am chanting Hare Krishna. That's sufficient. We do not know actually it is association of devotees. I can chant properly. In association of devotees, how you can do Sankirtan? Alone, you cannot do. Association of devotees, we need Sankirtan. Association of devotees, we can understand. Samyak Kirtana. Then the pure holy name will manifest. And the reading of the scripture will occur, not independently. So that is one more reason where ISKCON is there. Also, the ISKCON movement exists because we cannot do anything individually. Suppose you want to do something individually, what you can do? Could we have built this temple alone? Suppose this is the formula we follow. See, most of the sadhus do not build an organization. They think it is something material and we should not do it. Correct? They don't build. They are actually bubbles, and after they die, the whole thing is destroyed. Anyway, their philosophy is also bogus. Better it is destroyed. But still, they believe. Look at most of the popular swamis today. Somewhere they are sitting, and people come and listen to them. That's it. That is their spiritual life. There is no organization, there is no planning, there is nothing. And things evaporates very, very soon. So, to do something big, we need to work in association, correct? Organization is just facilitating that. What we are doing? To do something big, we need to work together. Individually, if I am saying, everybody is saying the principle, I'll chant Hare Krishna, read Prabhupada books, no temple will come up. No mass-scale preaching will happen, nothing will happen. So, so many ways we can understand. Another thing that happens is that in association, in good association, we get protected from sinful activities. Just like say, I am sleeping all alone with the mobile. Is that as good as sleeping alone with a woman? Mistake will occur. But in association, Prabhu, kya kar rahe hain? I'm so sorry. Association will protect you. Alone, Maya will. There's a Prabhupada gave an example, no? Of the sticks. You can take one stick and you can break. But if you have a set of sticks, you cannot break. That is why Prabhupada created ISKCON. It's together. And the Prabhupada will also manifest through the movement then. Sometimes it is difficult, but Prabhupada wants. Okay? But taking the instruction, understand what is needed, what is understood, then we have to work through the institution. And therefore, there are so many things happening here. So as we go in the purport, there are very, very strong statements. Prabhupada says this. Sometimes we see the application and we see the theory, and we do not know the connect. Like Prabhupada says in the purport, man can have more than one wife. And the reality is, those who follow without doing sinful activities, Prabhupada says, you can have sex once in a month only. Even he compares animals also are having once in a year some animals. So why you cannot control? You should have once in a month. But then he said, what if your wife is pregnant? Even that you cannot do. Then he says you can have more than one wife. And it did happen. Some people in ISKCON married more than once, seeing that. It's there in the purport. See, purport means it is for all the time and all the places. If it is a letter, it is specific to a particular person. Purport means it's for 10,000 years. But when it comes to application, Srila Prabhupada did not apply that. Therefore, we have to live in association of devotees. If you just had this book, you do not have the ISKCON movement, you will not know whether this was permitted as an application by Srila Prabhupada. You will not know that. And there will be some funny applications people will do. So it did happen. Srila Prabhupada said that. So they went to Srila Prabhupada. And some of them, after marrying more than one, Prabhupada said no. Because laws ISKCON is the international movement. Different parts of the world, different laws are there. Some part of the world you can marry more than one. Correct? In Muslim countries you can marry, it's allowed in their law. Nobody is going to object if you marry more than one there. But Prabhupada said no. People cannot manage it. So in application, he did not implement it. Just like I do remember, one Srila Prabhupada says that if somebody eats once in a day, his health will be very good. He said that. But Prabhupada never ate once in a day himself. He said that. It's a principle. It's telling an Ayurvedic principle. It will be good, health will be good. In fact, if you eat something when the food is not digested, previous eating food is lying in your stomach, it's not good for health. Stomach should be empty, clean. Then you can have another thing. Already old food is not digested, again you are throwing more and more. It's not good health, common sense. So, but Srila Prabhupada, even when you see he made League of Devotees, he's making the charter and the plan, he's having food 3 times in a day. You see that he's having a whole plan for League of Devotees. He's having morning breakfast at this time, he's asking people to join. And he's assuring that it's prasadam for you. I suppose the people come to the temple and they say that, so can I join the temple? Yes, but food is only once in a day. I tell you, 99% will say, Beda, this is too difficult. Prabhupada एक चिट्ठी में लिखा कि अगर दिन में एक बार ही खाएंगे तो हेल्थ बहुत अच्छा होगा, लिखा. लेकिन इम्प्लीमेंट भी देखने का ना. अगर अब जो नया लोग आता है मंदिर में बोले भाई ज्वाइन करना है, हाँ ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, बट खाना एक टाइम मिलेगा. 99% तो बोलेगा थैंक यू प्रभु जी, हम जाते हैं इधर, है ना. तो इसलिए ISKCON मूवमेंट चाहिए. इम्प्लीमेंटेशन क्या था? Not one. Now we can take so many examples. What was Acharya's implementation of it? You got it? You have to, and therefore you need senior devotees also. How was it? How was it? See, anything given in Prabhupada's books you can implement, no problem. But if you take advice, how did Prabhupada actually implement this? How was it implemented? But we don't know to hear. No, it's there in the book, no? So there are some people like that. Courts leke ghumte rehte hain, and they don't consult the elder devotees of Prabhupada. How did actually it was implemented? Was it implemented? No, this is certain principles which Prabhupada did not himself implemented. Correct? Himself he was not telling. Just like many people know Ekadashi, if you do Nirjal, it is very nice. Prabhupada used to, when meeting devotees, used to tell, this fruit, no, you can make like this on Ekadashi and we can eat it. It's very nice. Himself is talking about making items on Ekadashi. I remember once, one letter Srila Prabhupada says, Ekadashi means milk and fruits. That's it. And then I remember we had come to Mangaluru that time, and one devotee was very insistent on this quotation. And then what happens, because we were at that time influenced by Ritvik thing, so we don't listen to any proper disciple who says how it is implemented. We just read a quotation and fight among ourselves. That's what happens. How you can live without the movement? I'm telling you, these are all problems they're going to have. They're going to have all this kind of problems because they don't accept proper disciples for guiding how it is implemented. So then that was the day of Ekadashi and a lot of guests were there. He didn't allow us to make anything. What do? Make sabudana khichdi, we make, we make some, kuttu ka atta ka vada, so many things we can make. Singada atta, kuttu atta, so many things we make apart from having milk and fruits. So we did that. He didn't allow, he was the main cook, kuch nahi banane diya humko, gusse mein tha. Prabhupada ji bole, Ekadashi mein milk and fruits. And he bola, theek hai bhai, hum log thoda austere nahi hai. And then, was it practical? It was not practical. Prabhupada himself never implemented that. Correct? So this is just, you can take one line from a letter, but actually, or from a purport, but Ekadashi, milk and fruits. But what he meant, fruits, can he make something? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that you can, from the fruits you can grind anything. He didn't say. So, just if you look at a quotation and certain words, without having sufficient understanding, because every time Prabhupada cannot go elaborate, explain in 10 pages. He may just say in brief, Ekadashi, fruits and milk. But did he? You will have to know from the moment how Srila Prabhupada implemented it. Correct? Then you get a proper understanding even of the words. Okay? Otherwise, you will not understand the word. Therefore, teachers are needed to teach the books. Shri Radha Govinda ki. In fact, when we started this, our online course, most of the time, previous to that, the online course, and ISKCON, the most emphasis has been distribute Prabhupada book, distribute Prabhupada book, distribute Prabhupada books. And Shri Radha Govinda ki Jai. And it is understood, and we also appreciate that, Srila Prabhupada, that these books are like atom bombs. Any day it will burst. Somebody has these books in his house and reads even one page, his life will change. We are not contesting that. But many people said that if these people can come to the temple, we can help them to explode the bomb. And that is what the online course did. Many people said the book was lying in their house. See, you have to read book in a submissive spirit. Just reading will not help. And books were lying in the house, they just read some half page here and there and kept it. They could not understand. Like when I got Bhagavad Gita, honestly, I did not understand one word. I read the whole book. Kuch samajh nahi aaya. You need a teacher. I could not understand. And then I kept the book. Just like Prabhupada says in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, he says somebody reads his books, he should read with the submissive spirit and at least accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead theoretically. Otherwise, Gita is a big mystery, he will not understand one word. And same thing happened to me. I could not understand one word. But then when I met the devotees, I could understand everything. So you have to, ISKCON movement goes conjointly with Prabhupada books. As such, these books are competent alone, they can make a person devotee and go back to Godhead. This is also there in conversation. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, you explain us please this, why did you make two things? You could have made only BBT or only ISKCON, that would have been sufficient. Why did he make these two things separately? Both are different legal entities. Many of you do not know that. BBT and ISKCON are independent legal entities. Same members may be present, but they are independent entities existing. So Prabhupada said, see, ISKCON movement has many advantages. All the things I am saying it does. But ISKCON means leaders. Who is running? The leaders. If these leaders make a mess, ISKCON can close tomorrow. He has seen that happening to his own Guru's movement, Gaudiya Math, which was dismantled because of foolishness of the disciples. No offenses. T.K. Prabhupada said that. It got destroyed, correct? So similarly, he said, ISKCON, if you leaders make a mess, his whole movement, they break it to pieces and gone. But my books will be available. That means, if suppose there is a very sincere seeker, some part of the world, He wants to know how to go back, how to make his life perfect. Krishna will arrange within his heart to go to some shop and purchase Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, which will be available even when ISKCON closes. Correct? It will be available. So anything can happen tomorrow, we do not know. The world keeps changing, people become crazy, Maya is very strong in Kali Yuga, anything can happen. And Prabhupada books are on its own are competent. It's not that it depends, we can help the process. But book is competent on its own, and there are some miracles where somebody has sat down alone, just like there are many people who may not go to college, but they can have the books, they can study, they understand, and they become expert. There are exceptions. So that will be the only thing available at that time. Okay? So presently it's different. ISKCON has programs, there are Sankirtan, there is Prasadam distribution, correct? There is so much. Just like Sunday, this time was better. It is still more better. 1 hour should be Harinam. Not that Aarti is over, Kirtan is over. Then they don't open the temple. People should dance, people should feel the joy of Harinam. Correct? That is the main area we made. I used to joke, Mangaluru people are tough like coconut. We need a big crusher. The temple is nothing a big crusher, so that the people can easily take up Krishna consciousness. And actually it is Sunday program and people come, they go with a very happy experience. I used to travel for 2 hours one way, for a happy experience. Why people come finally? We say people are not coming here. If there is no happy experience, why they will come? But they just to see deities, nobody comes. They'll say once and they will go. They come for a good experience. That they will come on festival day, just go, deity, see, pray. Then what's the difference between us, proper say, then a joint mess, that's all. Go, people come, show the deities, collection dakshina, and run the show. So ISKCON movement is not made for that. ISKCON movement is made for preaching. Therefore, Prabhupada used to say, tax your brains. If we do not tax our brain in planning how people take to Krishna consciousness, then Maya will tax our brain in another way. Then we will plan. So all the planning, this thing is how to preach. Correct? We have various meetings. How do we raise resources? How this building has to come. There was one temple president wrote to Srila Prabhupada, lot of problem, money is short. Prabhupada said, that's okay, plan what you can do, but you also plan how to preach. Krishna will send you the money. Correct? So you plan how the preaching will happen. How many people used to go to Srila Prabhupada, in public. Prabhupada, can we do that? Prabhupada said, very nice, so why don't you do it? Simply giving ideas is not right. Why don't you do it? Why just telling me we can do this? Do it, no, something you do. You got it? Something you implement. And then how much satisfaction that comes. Actually, very soon, just like a small child, you become independently thoughtful. See, the child is 5 years to 25 years, a training occurs. After 20 years, the child becomes independently thoughtful. Everything he assesses on his own. Oh, this is like that, this is like that, this is like that. So we also have a short duration. People join, maybe very soon time, they will become independently thoughtful. If there is some lacking in our training, then he'll behave foolishly. It's like, suppose in a college, some children, all the children have failed. Want the management card the teacher, what you are doing whole year? Everybody has failed. Correct? So that means he didn't train properly. When the exam came, they failed. So similarly, that's a tendency. When you understand the basic philosophy, even though there is no realization, even though there is no purification, but I can explain the philosophy, I think I become Jagat Guru. We read that recently. Prabhupada says more important is somebody who can just explain the philosophy, the person who can actually implement it. More important than that person's heart is fully pure. More important that person is a person who is actually engaged in pure devotional service. We are come to the bottom rung, where we can just explain and answer various questions. Anything become Jagat Gurus. But better believe somebody who can follow what he is telling. Won't you be more interested to meet a person who is actually following? And more important than somebody whose heart is totally pure, more somebody who is actually a pure devotee. Right? Explaining philosophy is not a big deal, but actually to implement is a big deal. And to finally become a pure devotee with heart is totally pure, that is what the achievement is. So ISKCON movement is therefore actually accomplishing. When we have Vyas Puja, Guru Maharaj always gives the list. Please help me. Even Diksha time it is. Prabhupada told me, we distribute so many books. Prabhupada told me, we make so many disciples. Now I've been hearing, you are hearing now, I'm hearing this from 1993. From that time he is doing this. And that those times, many of this were not fulfilled at all. Prabhupada told me, you make 50,000 disciples. He told 93, that was hardly 8,000-10,000 was there. Prabhupada told me, you distribute so many books, so many things were there, list. And Prabhupada told me, develop Mayapur Dham. Prabhupada told me, so that is what actually we should never contest what the spiritual master says. We should rather think how to implement it. Like Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada told the disciples, form a GBC. This concept of organization has already come. Already was there. So then what happened, when he departed, the disciples started thinking, GVC, ye kya hai? Matha means Mathadipati should be there, no one Acharya. He said, no, there should be a team running, not one. And Prabhupada says that they thought my God brothers thought they are more intelligent than my spirit. It's a great offense actually. When a desire is expressed by an Acharya, he is seeing the practicality of the situation. It's an offense to think that maybe he has made a mistake. Matha needs Mathadipati. And then nobody is appointed as Mathadipati. So there were many people, so they formed two parties, like politics started. And it went to court also. Finally one person won. And he became the Mathadipati of the Gaudiya Math. Unauthorized. Because he never said. And then what happened? He fell down. Don't want to say sex only. Fell down to something obnoxious. And then whole Gaudiya Math got split into hundreds of pieces. What is the use? Prabhupada saw this. And therefore Prabhupada went one stage ahead. He formed the GBC in his presence. Didn't say that you form after me. And when they used to meeting, he used to sit there. Prabhupada sat in GBC meetings. And then he used to say, now you vote, raise hands, those who agree. He started the system. Now we also had, you all came that time, the service, we are also doing that only. But everybody votes, yes. In fact, all the votes were unanimous by Krishna's grace and everything was sorted out this time. Whatever we took, 4, 5 things was sweetly sorted out with all happiness. But so much to, something which were obvious and could be sorted out because Prabhupada wanted like that. And it did happen in ISKCON also. Sometimes leader went away. Maya is very powerful. But movement, nothing happened because it is not run by one person. It is run by committee. Now, had we used our own intelligence to understand the order of the Guru, Prabhupada says for Arjuna, he should have simply executed the order of Krishna. Not needed, just execute the order when it comes. Your intelligence should be how do I execute the order? Not that Prabhupada said 16 rounds, how do I execute this order? That should be my meditation, not that I think he made a mistake, maybe 8 is sufficient. And you can put your practical experience. Say, I'm doing 8 and I'm feeling fine. People can put their experience like that. Somebody can say, I'm chanting 4. Thoda lagta hai, just like civil engineering it is. When you construct something, there is something called, kya bolte hain isko? There is something called, bhai engineer baithe, factor of safety hota hai na kuch. What do you call it? If the bridge can take, suppose the vehicles coming is 20 tons, they design it for 50 tons. Factor of safety रहता है. So maybe Prabhupada ने 16 बोला, but factor of safety होगा, 4 काफी है शायद. So we can plan like that. Therefore, order of the Acharya, we should not use our intelligence. Intelligence is used to execute it. Just like Gaudiya Math, oh, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, GBC, क्या GBC है? GBC है. Actually, railway से लिया था body. Governing Body Council, railway था उसमें. That time, railway had it. Governing Body Council, railway का idea है. क्या जरूरत नहीं? मठ का मठ. Prabhupada, they became more intelligent than a spiritual master. They could not foresee what is going to happen. They could not foresee. They could not foresee that it is possible somebody becomes a Matadipati who will agree first. He never told anybody. Now in many mathas like we had in Udupi, Swamiji tells he is the next person. Immediately says. And everybody accepts. Nobody contests. That culture is also there. You think Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada did not, he already knew my person is ready. But he knows they will fight if I say. He was silent. He gave hints many times. Once they told that Abhay Charan De, your disciple, okay, Abhay Charanaravinda, that was the name. Okay. And the Prabhupada Diksha name, Abhay Charanaravinda. Charan it was, he made it Charanaravinda. So Abhay Charanaravinda is there, he is very nice devotee. He has helped us open many branches, Allahabad branch, Bombay branch, many branch Prabhupada helped to open. So why don't we make him president of Bombay branch? They asked. He said, don't disturb him now. One day he will do everything alone. He said that from his mouth. There are many things. And in Mayapur, I told you previously, when the two disciples he sent to Europe, he called them back. They did something, they opened a couple of branches, not that nothing happened, but he was not satisfied with the work. Heavy expenses going on, maintaining the preaching. He paid money for them to go to Europe. To England was the main country that time. So England, Europe, they went, Germany. Even now those branches, there are a couple of branches they opened. But he was not happy with what they did in so many years. He called them back. And he was frustrated because he wanted Prithvi Jayotvache Nagaradi Gram Sarvata Prachare Vimorana. So at that time, there was that Navadi Mondol Parikrama, which Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada used to lead. It was a huge gathering. Thousands of people are there. So he said, very unfortunate. It has happened, I brought them back. But it not happened in my presence, but in my absence somebody will do it. And then whole audience was watching, was staring at Prabhupada for a long time. Like ordering, you have to do it. I could not do it with these fellows. You have to do it. So there is transcendentally, many times he has chosen him. There was one more situation where Prabhupada came to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. And that was a situation that Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada darshan time was over. Because not like us, they're very organized. All acharyas are very organized. They have a time where they give time, people can ask questions, then they are busy with their writing and other works. Correct? Darshan time was over. So now he was into his next activity. So Prabhupada came with his luggage. He was a businessman that time. So who will understand? He is handing over his movement to a businessman. Nobody will accept at that time. They would have fought with him. When his own order they are interpreting and changing means anything would happen. So khadak, Prabhupada came, they explained very figuratively. And he said that, can I meet? He said, no, sorry, the time is over. So Prabhupada, so he lifted his luggage, khadak, he's going down. Suddenly the door opened. They call him in. And the disciples were so scared, they will not even enter his room because he was extremely strict. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was like fire. Even the disciples were scared of him. Very, very, very strict. But Prabhupada, he made him sit in the same bench he's sitting. He was shocked. What is he doing? Kya kar raha hai? But he made him sit. The same bench is sitting. The rocking chair. And he was talking to you for hours. Door is closed. Close the door and he's shut. So what they are discussing? कब शुरू करेगा? करेंगे ये भी कर लेना, take care of it. What they have intimate conversation, nobody knew. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu used to meet many times privately. What they were discussing, Chaitanya Charitamrita said nobody can know. They used to meet privately. क्या करना है? Very sinful people. ठीक है, जगह में दाई कर देना, हाँ कर दूंगा. उनका private discussion होता था. Many times they used to meet privately. So similarly, what Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada is talking to Prabhupada, they don't know, but it has to be manifested in a very practical way, dealing with disciples who may be rebellious if he makes him the Acharya. Correct? So what he can do? He had to, whatever reasons that Leela happened, there are so many lessons for us. Actually, these are all Leelas of the Lord. These are the great Acharyas. So many lessons for ages for us. Sometimes they feel unfortunate. Nothing is unfortunate in this world. That instance actually shows something. Arey, admins, band karo usko. So they show something. Just like Srila Prabhupada took 40 years to start his movement. He could have started on the same day. He's an Acharya. Same day he got an order, he could have started preaching worldwide. All resources were ready for him. Pure devotee ke liye, there is no shortage of resources. But he is going a lesson. You want to preach Krishna consciousness, you have to practice Krishna consciousness sincerely, then you will be effective. It's a lesson for us. Otherwise, many people think, abhi maine mala pakadi, samajh aa gaya philosophy, I'll become Jagat Guru. First implement that, Baba. 40 years. So if you want to actually do something for Srila Prabhupada, at least read his books 6 times. Prabhupada says, read my books properly. And now you see, many times we are reading this purport, many times again when you come, oh, you never understood that line, which was there, lying there. You never saw the implication, so many meaning is there, we never saw that. Therefore Prabhupada said, 6 times. One place somebody has got a reference 3. Not below 3. Okay? So that means, if you read all his books, many devotees have calculated the time. Maximum somebody can read is 1 hour. Super special, you are 2 hours every day. If you can read 2 hours books of Srila Prabhupada every day, then also you will take at least 4 or 5 years to read all his books one time. That means at least 15 years you should spend and read. We want to do, suppose you want to do something for Srila Prabhupada, first become a qualified instrument. That is a lesson Prabhupada is giving 40 years of waiting. Just to show us. Krishna empowered him after 40 years. He could have empowered him the same day. He is a pure devotee, he is ready. Not that he became ready after 40 years. You read Prabhupada Vyas Puja offerings, as same standard as is after 70 years. No difference. Adore the happy day. How is he writing? You see the Vyas Puja offering, many times when we just read that itself for people. So, full faith in. You see the kind of faith Prabhupada is having on his spiritual master. How much we have developed? Nothing. So much is needed to proceed. Okay? And then you become an instrument in the hand of Krishna. You go sit in somebody was joking, no? So you go, suppose you sit in the park and you do kirtan. Nobody will come. Even if somebody comes and takes your shelter, would you be able to guide them? See, it's not a joke. To be able to sustain the devotion of people, able to encourage people, able to inspire people, this will not come unless there is purification. Correct? What we need? Suppose somebody comes, Prabhuji, you lead me, you guide me. What do you have to do? You have to correct him, you have to guide him, you have to inspire him, encourage him, nourish him. So many things you have to do. And unless somebody is accepted by the Lord, he will not be able to do that. Artificially we can sit in that situation. Are we able to do that? We should keep introspecting. Prabhupada said, unless somebody is accepted by the Lord, he will not be able to encourage his followers. Because how do you encourage? Spiritually, not materially. Simply materially seeking good, that will not last. Sentiments will blow apart. It has to be spiritual nourishment. How you can give spiritual nourishment? Unless you be accepted by the Lord. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada said very strong things, coming back to the purport. Very, very strong things. That to save ourselves from sex desire. Very strong words. It helps. When you read these books, in association it is, always reading is better. When you read these books, it imprints in the heart. And we become scared. Because Prabhupada says the sinful activities means you will not get Krishna consciousness. So, read these purports, read very carefully, word by word, Read association. Some people have created, reading groups that will even more easier. Read together, but read Prabhupada books, chant Hare Krishna, stay in connection with the society, because then only big things get implemented, then only we can clarify the real implementation of Prabhupada orders, then somebody can help us understand also, and then only we can make big projects to spread Krishna consciousness. See, today all the companies are very well organized. Huge institutions are there for everything. So Prabhupada also has created an institution to help us preach Krishna consciousness. Till the time the institution survives, we should. And the Prabhupada did say one time, he said that after 10,000 years, there will be no Hare Krishna. Correct? Basically, there will be no organization existing after 10,000 years. Then Kali Yuga will come with a full force. So there is an opportunity, because it is said here, the time just passed, time and tide wait for no man. Prabhupada repeated this word in last 2-3 purports. So very strong words. Time and tide wait for no man. We just have little. Previous verse Prabhupada talked about, you give gold also, you cannot buy back 1 second of your life which is gone. है ना? समय तो निकलता रहेगा, समय तो निकलता रहेगा, एक और दिन चला जाएगा. So if we want to implement what Srila Prabhupada says here, you need association. Alone, definitely instructions are wonderful. Implementation is not easy. हमारा instruction बहुत simple है ना, क्या करना है, जब करना है बस, है ना, करो ना. So एक शब्द सुनने को नहीं होता. So the implementation, you should do with the devotees. Alone you are chanting in some place, and other devotees are also chanting. It is easier. देखो अच्छे से जब कर, आपने कोई मन, चलो मैं भी करता. अकेले क्या करोगे? ना पढ़ने का मन करेगा, ना जप करने का मन करेगा. And forget about devotional service. Many a time we see when the congregation devotees always ask, hey, yatra hoti, bro, when is next yatra? They feel very happy, because that is the time they get good association, they have a good sadhana, they are doing some services together. They feel so happy, so happy. In fact, whenever you launch a yatra, some people on the same day they buy the tickets, because they know it is they feel happy about it. They are voluntarily doing it. No, nobody is forcing them. इतना पैसा क्यों खर्च करते हैं वो लोग, है ना? हर साल करते हैं ना, क्यों करते हैं? एक भक्तों का संग मिलता है, अच्छा लगता है, इसीलिए ISKCON बना. So try to appreciate. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Sadar
Krishna
Pranam.
Prabhuji. Sadar Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Sadar Pranam.
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama.
Hare Hare, Hare
Prabhuji Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna.
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Hare,
Rama.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Rama,
Dami
Hare
Pranam.
Rama,
Hare Rama.
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama Hare
Hare
Hare. Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,